These two very well-loved Furbies that you see before you were purchased on Facebook Marketplace not too long ago. Ever since I heard about the story of Bumbleweed, I've been absolutely obsessed with the idea of caring for and repairing Furbies that clearly desperately need it. Whether they were played with quite a lot or left in a desert. I wanted to show you a little bit of the process on how I take apart 2005 Furbies. I'm sure there's other videos out there, but this is just how I do it. You need one of these specialty screwdrivers. I use the very smallest size just to get past the feet, these plastic feet, and then after that, I just use a basic screwdriver. This one screw that's in the middle of the foot here is very long, so just be patient with it until it comes all the way out, and then these little feet compartments will pop off. Now that the feet have been removed, it'll look something like this. I just pull back the fur here, and I think I zoom in a sec. Yeah, you should see this thicker white thread, and it's probably best to use a seam ripper, but once you tear that a little bit, it should just pull right apart further up the back so that it gives you a little bit more room to take the fur off. And these are just some plastic things that are wedged into the exoskeleton, I guess it's called. And I just pop those loose. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they don't. You have to be really careful because the Furbies are quite old. And as you can see here, this one is very old and in very poor shape, and I just cracked that bottom piece right there. Here I'm just taking some of the broken plastic pieces that were glued to the fur and removing them, putting them in the garbage, and peeling the fur back just like you would on a 98 Furby. The plastic casing around the face popped off very easy because of how damaged this Furby was, but most Furbies, 2005 Furbies, the face is glued on or screwed on, so it's not very hard to just peel it off, beyond what I did in just snapping it off because it was already broken. Here's what she looks like without her fur and half of her broken shell. Usually, if your Furby is in good condition, the shell will be complete. But here, I'm just taking off some of the plastic pieces that are just absolutely falling apart. So here's what she looks like without her plastic shell, her broken ears, super sad. Here I'm going in with the normal screwdriver again, and I am undoing these screws right next to the eyes, and that will release that little black frame piece that's holding the eyelids on. It can be a little bit tough to pop off, but they do come off. This one had a broken one on the other side. Once you get to this point, you'll see these two, mine are yellow, but I think they're black in other Furbies, those two little things that are holding down the eyelids, and you can just pop those right off, and then the eyelids come off, and then the eyes come off. I couldn't show you how I take the eyes off properly in this video because of how destroyed the Furby was. But anyways, here is me giving these Furbies some bath time, tossing them in the sink, creating Furby soup. I just use Dawn dish soap. I know a lot of people use like detergent and stuff like that to make it soft, but these Furbies weren't in too bad shape, so I just used some Dawn dish soap and I scrubbed them really good. Here they are fresh out of the sink, both looking so much cleaner already, and then I tossed them into my dryer for a little bit. I do not recommend this. It depends on your dryer. The fibers can melt if it's too hot, but my dryer never melts it, so I just toss it in there, and I'm also impatient, so that helps quicken the process. And here I am just using a wire pet brush to give it a thorough brush to fluff it up a bit, and they're back to looking pretty much brand new now. The amount of times that I slammed that brush down at full force just on my fingers by accident instead of the fur itself is absolutely immeasurable. Just be careful when you're doing this. But here they are looking super soft. After that, I just used some hot glue. You can use super glue, but I had hot glue on me to put most of the plastic pieces together and glue some of the frame pieces back together on the one super broken Furby just so that it holds together enough to keep the fur on. This one here was mostly intact, the shell, so I wasn't able to reattach the ears, but the shell was mostly intact, so there they are, super slay. And there is another project that I'm working on, hiding away in the back. Now to put the fur back on. This Furby has these two little notches at the top, and I just dip some hot glue on them and pop them right into the holes, and that keeps them there. And then I screw on the bottom pieces, and that pretty much secures the face plate. Now, it'll be a little bit different per Furby because there is connection right in between the eyes. This Furby, I just cut that off. Some Furbies you can't. There I was just gluing the eyebrows back on. You can sew this, but I'm very lazy. And here I just find the hole for the plume, and I put the little thing in there, and the fur pretty much pops on from there. And you can do the same thing with the ears. Just find the hole for them, put them in, and then once you start pulling the fur on, they pretty much just pop right through. So I attach those little plastic pieces again back inside where they're supposed to be, as secure as possible, and the Furby is pretty much ready. Since one of the Furbies didn't have feet, I decided to 3D print these really basic feet that I could just glue on. They don't have any attachments to screw in. I figured I'm not going to be able to open these anyways, and neither of them work, so I thought I'd just print the feet to glue on, just for aesthetics and so that the Furby could balance. And here I am, just screwing the plastic feet back in. This one I had to create a kind of fake little fur thing because it didn't have it when I purchased it. So just screwing those in, and then once that's done, I'm coating these feet in copious amounts of hot glue so that they can stick to the fur, to allow the Furby to stand up straight. And all I did to the feet was try and color match them, and then I painted the toes pink. I did the exact same process for this Furby, and here she is looking nice and clean and pretty. And I cleaned up the fur around the eyes on both of the Furbies just so that you could see them a little bit better. And here they are after their repair. I'm so happy that I was able to rescue these two Furbies and clean them up and add them to my collection. I didn't have either of these in my collection of 2005 Furbies, although I think it's called Caramel Syrup, the beige one with the pink belly, this one. I did have that one when I was a kid, but I mistreated it horribly, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection now so that I can give it the care and attention that it deserves. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.